All right, we're going to take a look at Pear Deck today, which allows us to add some interactive slides as a formative assessment for our students to our Google Slides. And I just want to show you that under our district website, if you go to faculty and staff, you can go ahead down to user guides and click on instructional technology, and that will bring you to our instructional technology department website. And you might want to bookmark that by just clicking this star here. And under interactive tools for learning, you're going to find Pear Deck, and that's going to give you the how-to to sign up for Pear Deck. Right now, we do have the ability to sign up for the premium version, which is great for distance learning, and it will tell you how to sign in using your teacher login with your Google information. So let's go ahead over here to our Pear Deck. So once you're signed in, this is going to be your home screen on Pear Deck. Here you have a Pear Pop. That is just if you would like to give your students just one quick prompt. This is something you might want to use on a Google Meet during distance learning, or you might use it as maybe a do now or an exit type slip at the end of your lesson. You can choose a one slide prompt just by clicking this choose a prompt button here, and it will load for you, give you some suggestions for the beginning of your lesson, the middle of your lesson, or the end of your lesson. So it gives you different ideas that you can scroll through here, and you can choose one of their already made prompts here. If you want to check in with students, you can have them drag their dot to how they're feeling. What students would have to do is they would have to go to joinpd.com in another tab, and they would put in this code here. You also can give your students a direct link to this by clicking on give students a link, and then the link will be copied for them. You can put it right in your chat window if you're doing distance learning on Google Meet. And the students then can just drag a dot that will appear in the right-hand corner to how they're feeling. And that's just one example of how you can use Pear Deck just as a one quick slide in the middle of one of your lessons. Over here, if you click on Pear Deck for Google Slides, it will it's going to create a lesson for you, which simply means it's just going to open up a new slides window for you so that you can create within Google Slides. And that's going to take a little while to load. So while that's loading there, I'm going to just go back here. You can also explore creating a vocab list if you'd like to. And then when it says present from a file from Drive, these are just different slides, presentations that I have already in my Drive. So it's just giving me suggestions of what I might want to work on. And then it gives me some blog posts to help me to learn Pear Deck a little better. That's your home screen of Pear Deck. Now let's go ahead back here. I did say that I want to start a new presentation for Pear Deck. And this does remind me what I need. I need the add-on through the add-ons menu up here. So this is going to pop up every time that you try to start a new slideshow using peardeck.com. And you can simply delete this if you would like to and add your own slide from there. You would just click it and click on delete. And then you could add the slides as you need to. For your students, you could put a title slide. You could add informational slides. And then you want to make sure that you have the add-ons. So up here at the top, we're going to go to add-ons. I already have here Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, and I would open that up here. And then it will open up over here on the right side of my screen, and I have that bar that I could use for Pear Deck here. I could start a lesson, which I'm not ready to do. I haven't created the lesson yet. I could use their template library, and I could add different templates that they have here. And I could drop those right in. That is going to replace the second slide now. It'll add one there. And I can even take their templates and I can edit the words if I want to. And right now, it says students will write their response. So right now, these students are going to, on their end, have a box pop up where they can write an open-ended question. If I go over here to my Pear Deck bar, I'm going to click on that back. I actually can make this into a different type of student question. Maybe I have younger students and I want them to draw their answer. I'm going to click on that draw, and here it's going to Now change this so students can draw anywhere on the slide when they are presented with this slide presentation. I can also change it to give them a multiple choice. So it says, what do you wonder about the weather today? I wonder why it is so cold in April. I wonder why it is sunny at home but not at my friend's house. You could give them different options, maybe only two, and you can update the slide. And that's going to then, when the students get onto this slide, on the right side, when it's presented to them, they're going to have those options to choose from over there. I'm going to show you a presentation I already have open here. You can simply open up your Google Slides. So here I have a teacher lesson. They are going to teach about cause and effect for their elementary students. And they've already put together some slides to teach their students about cause and effect. They could simply use what they already have while talking to students and teaching them about cause and effect, and they can add some Pear Deck interactive slides in here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that add-on again, and here's the bar. And I can go ahead and add those in. Now I have down here, this teacher is asking, Natasha had a math test the next day. She knew she should study, but instead she decided to play video games with her best friend. What was the effect of Natasha playing video games? Maybe I'd like my students to be able to write an open-ended response. So I'm going to, while in this slide, I'm going to change it to a text response just by clicking on that little text button here, and it's adding my interactive question right away. Now, when this slide pops up for my students, they will also have a spot where they can type in the answer to this question. So I'm going to go ahead. I can also add another slide from here. And I can put in any type of slide. I can convert this. Maybe I want them to have a draggable. I could put a map on here, and I could put different icons that I want them to slide. The students will have this little flag available to slide it wherever I'd like. I could put a picture in here, and I would do that just as I would insert a picture any other time onto my Google Slides. Okay, I'm going to insert this map here. I know this has nothing to do with cause and effect, but just to show you, I could add my question right on the slide or my directions. Slide the flag, drag the flag, we'll say, because it's a draggable. Drag the flag and drop it onto New Jersey. Right, now when this pops up for the students, they'll have a flag that they could drag and put right on New Jersey or anywhere else. If they're not sure where New Jersey is, then you'll be able to track what they know. Once I'm done creating my slides and putting in my interactive slides, I can start my lesson straight here from my add-on. I can do a student-paced activity, which means I can give it to the students via Google Classroom. They could do it on their own. Or I could do an instructor-paced activity if I want to do it live during distance learning on my Google Meet or in my classroom once we're back at school. It's going to launch your presentation. And it's going to give the students the ability to go to joinpd.com. So they'll be in another tab while you're presenting in Meet if you're doing this for distance learning, or they can simply do it on their device at school, and then you'll have your end of things cast to your projector or your smartboard. Students will be able to put this code in right here, WBUSA. You can also give students the ability to just click on a link, so you can send this link to them or drop it in their Google Classroom. So I see one student has joined. I joined on another screen as a student, and I can start class once my students are all in there if I'm doing this as a live lesson. So here's my first slide. Now the student cannot go on to the next slide. I am going to have this in my teacher paced mode so that they cannot go ahead and read through everything without paying attention to me. So I'm going to go ahead. I could teach the students about cause and effect. If I want to add a question that I forgot to add before, I can add a new prompt by just clicking this button, and I can put a new question in here if I'm not sure if students are understanding, and students will be able to drag the drop. So this is what it looks like on the student side of things. They're going to take this and they can tell you how they're feeling with their draggable activity. That's what it looks like on the student screen. So I can keep going and collecting answers from the students and talking and teaching to them. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. Remember, we put an open-ended response interactive slide in here. So it looks like this on my screen, but when I'm looking at the student's view, the students are going to have to answer over here. So what was the effect of Natasha playing video games? What would I guess that effect was? Natasha did not have time to study and was not prepared. Okay, so your students might put their answers in, and that response is now recorded. I'm going to go ahead off of the student screen here, and I can go ahead here and look at show responses. And I can show the whole class all the different responses that will line up. I only have one student in here now. And I can also make this full screen over here. I can open the teacher dashboard. I'm going to open it in a new window here. Maybe I'm presenting this on Google Meet and I don't want my students really to see my teacher dashboard. I just wanted to show them this one tab that I have open. It's taking a little while, but this is the teacher view. So when I open my teacher dashboard, it looks like this, and now it's going to tell me the student's name that answered this. So now I can see which students are answering the questions. When we are in projector mode, like here, it's always going to have the students as anonymous on your screen. But if someone, if you want to check in who understood things later, you can always go over here and you can open your teacher dashboard to see who is answering things. And you can go back and you can see answers from before, what students put here. And I could click on that dot to see who dragged the dot over to here, who's confused right now. So that could be my teacher dashboard over here. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how you can check out your students' responses as a whole on the projector mode, as well as opening up from these three dots over here, your teacher dashboard over here. Okay. So also, if I need to go deal with something else, or I get interrupted during my lesson, but I don't want the students to stop, I can turn on student pace mode in the middle of the session. And that means the students can now go through on their own. So here you go. Here's a student window again. As a student, I can now go through and I can check out all the slides that my teacher has prepared. And I could go ahead and I can answer these questions from my teacher if they've gotten busy somehow. So that's what it would look like on the student end of things. You can also stop student pace mode when you're not busy anymore, and you can continue teaching from there. When you're done, you want to make sure that you end your session, and that will help you to save this session for later. So Pear Deck example, you can even put what period it was. And then I'm going to save and end the session. And this way, when I go back into my Pear Deck later on, I could go up here to sessions and I can go ahead and I can check out what I did once that has saved here. It's taking a little extra time right now to do that. But I can go ahead back into that session and check out what's going on. Okay, and there it is now. Pear Deck example period 1 is right here. So I can check that out. In my teacher dashboard, And I could go back like I did before, and I can check which students answered which questions in those interactive slides. And I can see Katie put hers here. Other teachers, other students may have their icons in different parts. And I can see the different answers will be listed from all of my students over here. So you're going to find all of your answers in the teacher dashboard there. If you have any more questions about this, please do feel free to fill out a form for instructional technology help. And again, you can find that by going to our faculty staff user guides, and then to your homepage right here, it will have a link to filling out a form right here. And this is where you would put any questions that you have about instructional help. Thank you so much. Hope you learned something.